Folks, if you're ever stopped at a railway crossing and the signals are flashing and you don't see the train or it appears to be moving slow and you're thinking maybe you could get across the tracks before the train comes, think about this. Even if the engineer sees you and applies emergency brakes right away, it can take a train over a mile to stop. A mile to stop. By that time, it's too late and the resulting crash will be deadly. It'll be a mess. So stop. Trains can't. You dig?
Lock the gate!
All right, let's do this. How are you, what the fuckers? What the fuck buddies? What the fuck nicks? What's happening? I'm Marc Maron. This is my podcast. WTF. Thanks for tuning in. How's everybody holding up? I want to say a special hello to my Instagram Live crew who hang out with me in the morning. I seem to regularly, it's like all my speech impediments in one thing except for the S's. I seem to regularly get on there in the morning and meander for nothing, for my own sanity, the sanity of others. I do the Instagram Lives, usually about an hour when I get on there and just kind of free-form it, answer questions. It's been a lot of good people. There seems to be a community forming there around the sort of morning coffee business, and I'm good. Helps me riff it out like I do here on this mic, but even more free on that mic. And I gotta be careful. No editing on the IG. I don't got Brendan keeping things in check. So I got to keep my own self in check. But it's sort of serving the purpose of, getting me engaged with my brain, which is generally how I generate ideas, material, things. And it's helping me because, I'm not doing stand-up. So in the morning, I get up and do that business and, sparks new stuff. I don't understand the Farsi, Arabic, Russian troll onslaught. I don't know what's going on with that, but I do know there's a lot of, and just regular trolls, not too many, but mostly, more than anything else, just people looking for a little bit of relief, a little bit of distraction, not unlike you people listening to this. A guy I've known for a long time is on the show today, Hari Kondabolu. He's never been on for a one-on-one show, despite being on one of the very early live WTFs. You may know his stand-up from Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, or from the documentary, The Problem with Apu, which he created. He's got a new stand-up special on Netflix, and his podcast with W. Kamau Bell called Politically Reactive is now back on the air, back in the downloadable zone. But he's a smart, funny guy. He's an intense guy, and he's a guy that I've known since he was a kid almost. I remember when Hari Kondabolu was coming around comedy clubs, sort of intense and seemingly aggravated, maybe a little sweaty when he was in college, trying to figure out how to do stand-up before he did stand-up. And I talked to him about that, which was kind of interesting because I have very clear memories of this guy. And I feel like he was sort of a kindred spirit in the sense that he reminded me of me at a different time, just intense, angry, looking for a way not to alienate people, but still kind of wanting to alienate people. Smart. But he figured it out. His new special is actually very good. I believe it's called Warn Your Relatives, but it's funny. It's smart. It's, I think it was shot in Seattle, which is one of my favorite places. But, so I'll talk to Hari in a few minutes. And those of you who watch the IG Live know that, a lot of people have already bought these things, but we're selling these T-shirts. They're the Too Close Maron T-shirts. Too Close, which has become sort of a hook of some kind. Whatever the case, people are enjoying the T-shirts, all right? I guess people are looking for reasons to get some merch while the days get shorter and our isolation persists, so you're in luck. We did some sort of a run of T-shirts with some nice art on there of me. And you might remember that last year we did a special edition line of posters to celebrate the first decade of WTF. So a couple months ago, we put out a special edition line of merch to celebrate the first 10 years of WTF. Artist Johnny Jones did some new designs for us, and we had some T-shirts, pins, and notebooks that are still available at podswag.com/WTF. He also did a limited edition poster design that sold out very quickly. So we've got two more of those, two more of the posters, and they're available now, all signed by me. There's only 100 each, so check them out, folks. We'll put some pictures on Twitter and Instagram as well. Go get this stuff at podswag.com/WTF or go to WTFpod.com and click on the merch link for the new Too Close shirts and all the other stuff. All right. So if you know me, you know that I have a sort of love-hate relationship with food and myself. That's just my nature. I don't know if you can relate to that. That's just who I am. So I generally take care of myself, but it's a struggle with food because I like to eat things that are very satisfying. And if I could, I would eat cake and ice cream all day long every day. But I don't. And one of the issues with having an addictive personality and the physical nature of the effect of sugar and carbs on the fucking system is that when I put a little in there, it takes me like 2 or 3 weeks to pull back. Not that I'm going crazy and fucking shoveling pasta into my face, but I got the craving. I got the Jones. I got the sugar monkey on my back. So somewhere after, going through a few pints of ice cream that Pat and Oswald had sent to my house, I got a bug in my brain about this goddamn Kentucky butter cake. That's the other problem. If you follow New York Times Cooking on fucking Instagram, you're getting pictures. You're getting pictures all day long of fucking food. There it was, Kentucky butter cake, some recipe from 1963, won a Pillsbury Award, and I'm like, it's in a bundt pan. I'm like, I got a bundt pan. I'm going to fucking make a Kentucky butter cake. Now, I'm alone here. I'm dealing with the weight of isolation, of quarantine, of plague, of the possibility of the complete economic and political collapse of the country I live in. We're being sort of driven into the ground by a narcissistic second-tier demon. And now I got it on my brain that I got to make a perfect Kentucky butter cake, so I'm going to do it. But I got no one to share it with, really. I got a couple friends come over. My buddy Kit. Maybe she'll have a fucking slice. But then what? What am I going to do? Drive it over to Sharplings? Am I going to drive it around? What am I going to do? So I went and got the supplies. I got the buttermilk. I got the butter. I got the sugar. I got the flour. I got the vanilla extract. And all I want to do is make this thing correctly, make this thing perfect, and then maybe have a slice, and then get it out of my fucking house. It's really about the process, the meditation process of creating the cake, doing it correctly, looking at it, eating it, feeling the high of eating that piece of cake, fighting with the urge to eat the rest of the cake, and somehow getting it out of the fucking house, knowing that I succeeded, had the meditational therapy of cooking and the fucking buzz of eating a bunch of sugar and butter and flour and eggs. So I did it. I set out to do it and I fucked it up and it didn't go the way I wanted. The recipe wasn't specific enough about preparation, so I made the batter, I buttered the pan, I poured the batter in the pan. Fine, no prob. Put that in the oven. Cooked it the right amount of time. Then here's the idea with the Kentucky butter cake. It's just basically butter, flour, and sugar sponge in the pan. And then you create this butter sugar syrup that you then pour over the cake that you've poked holes in. So the cake soaks it up like a sponge and you let it sit for 3 hours and then you turn it over and get it out of that bundt pan. So I pulled the cake out of the oven. I poked the holes and I'm making the fucking butter syrup. Didn't put enough water in. They said don't let the sugar dissolve all the way, so I thought it looked a little lumpy, and I didn't have a good feeling about it, but I thought I had done it right, and I poured it over the bundt cake, and it wasn't. I didn't put enough water in it because I fucked up. I put 2 teaspoons in instead of 3 tablespoons. I don't know why. So now I know that I fucked the entire thing up in the last goddamn leg of the recipe. I fucked it all up. So now this sugar is basically just a glaze sitting on what's supposed to be the bottom of the fucking cake. And I know it's going to be fine for what it is. Like, how is it not going to taste good? It's just butter and sugar and flour and eggs and buttermilk and vanilla. It's going to be fucking what it is, but it's not going to look like it's supposed to. It might not come out of the pan like it's supposed to. It might not. It just isn't right. Okay? It's not right. So now I'm beating myself up because I fucked it up. And I'm looking at this thing. It's supposed to sit for 3 hours. I'm looking at the glaze that's supposed to be syrup hardening on the top of what is the bottom of the cake. And I'm angry. And I'm just sitting there going, like, just throw it out, man. Throw the whole thing away. Throw it away. I even said it in that accent. Throw it away from Queens. Throw it away. What's the matter with you? But I sat in that for about an hour and a half. About half the time it's supposed to sit, and I went in, I tried to shake it out of the fucking mold, and I broke a plate trying to shake it out of the mold. And I got another plate, and I kept shaking. It wasn't coming out of the mold, so maybe the cake was fucked up too. Whatever the case, about half of the cake came out of the mold. The bottom half of it's the top, but it's supposed to be the bottom half. So now I've got this broken cake with this hardening sugar glaze on it in pieces, with the other half stuck in the fucking pan. And I'm fucking pissed, man. And I just take the pan over the garbage. I take out what's left in the pan. I throw it in the garbage. I throw the pan in the sink. Now I'm looking at these fucking jagged, fucked up pieces of cake and glaze on this plate, and I just shovel them into my mouth, probably 2 slices worth quickly. And it's so fucking good. How could it not be? So I'm just chewing that angrily shoving this broken up piece of unsuccessful cake into my face. I throw the rest out. And the thing is that not only was I angry at myself for fucking up, but, after I ate it, it was so good, I'd eaten just enough of my fucked up cake to feel shitty about eating it. Job well done. Shame intact. Went to bed just sweating butter, worried about diabetes, wondering if my heart was going to clog. And whose fault is this? You know whose fault it is. Fucking Donald Trump's. That's a lie. I can't hang that on him. This is not a political problem. I have to say, at different points in my life, I've done the exact same thing as I did with that cake. But the catch is that usually I made the cake correctly, but the exact same steps unfold afterwards. All right, so my guest is Hari Kondabolu, a very intense, very smart, very funny man. His podcast, Politically Reactive, with Hari and W. Kamau Bell, is back with new episodes every week. He also has a stand-up special on Netflix called Warn Your Relatives, very funny, shot in Seattle. And his documentary, The Problem with Apu, is now on HBO Max, which was kind of, it was informative for me. Maybe you'll enjoy it. So this is me talking to Hari Kondabolu, who I had a profound influence on when he was a younger man. Kondabolu. How are you, buddy?
I'm all right. How are you?
Don't pretend like you don't know me.
No, seriously though, how are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
What you mean with the thing?
Of course.
Today was not great, but it's getting easier. It's getting easier. But it's I don't cry as much in front of strangers or people I haven't seen in a while.
Right.
Right.
I was surprised you went right back to work. Did you take some time off at all?
I did not.
Okay.
I just found it to be fitting for what I do. I really had to figure it out whether or not to live that thing publicly. Would it be helpful in any way to anybody? And you all right with the mic stand?
Yeah, I'm just adjusting it. It's funny because it's only been a few months since I've regularly used a mic stand, and I feel like I'm out of practice, which is very embarrassing.
But that's a bendy one. That's not the straight one, is it?
No, it's a bendy one. It's one of those music.
Yeah, those are. No matter how good you are at stand up, the one thing you don't want to see when you get on stage is the bendy one.
It's people don't get it, but it's just awkward. Also, if you wanted to use the mic stand, you can't anymore because
you're fucked up. Yeah, it's gonna do what it's doing to you right now. In the middle of your show.
I don't really understand. Why do musicians need this? What is the purpose of this? Why
so they can play the guitar.
Oh, so it's going to be next to the guitar. Is that the idea? It's not actually for
so they have
vocals?
room. No, they have room. Like it's so like if they're